to Unfiltered, and I have two of my favorite people today. We're going to be discussing courtship and marriage. And maybe we might venture off into this Ethiopian Bible that Diana has gotten her hands on. Welcome to the show, Diana. Um, okay. Well, we'll start with you both introducing yourselves and letting the audience know who you are.
Okay. My name is Diana Gill, and I am the stage of dating, and I'm looking to be married. I am 71, but love doesn't have a number, and I listen to a lot of people that taught on relationship, and I like to say that some of my information came from them, and some of my information came from me waiting, because that's the most important part in a relationship is waiting. Because when you meet, well, I won't go into that. I'll let introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, let's allow Brother Johan to introduce himself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my name is Johan Shamsideen, resident of Flint, Michigan. 60 years old. I'll be 61 this year, and we're talking about relationships, dating, and courting, which is many don't know the difference between either one or both of them. There's a difference. So just here to learn, here to give what I can give, as far as my knowledge on the subject, and see if we can learn from each other.
Right.
I've been in relationships, and I've dated and I've courted, which is, I believe, is a difference. And we go from here. We can come into an agreement, or even if we don't agree, we can learn from each other, even if we don't agree.
That's right. So myself, I'm a divorcee of many years, and I don't think people think that you could be happily divorced, but I am, and I'm not close to dating or marriage, but I've just taken a break. Sometimes we need to, but I guess I want to steer this question towards Diana. What would your take on dating? What's your definition of dating as opposed to courting?
Okay, I believe that you have to be friends first. And being friends starts with communication and ends in being buddies. Mm-hmm. And dating is to gain information about the person, and not only to gain information, but enjoy getting information about the person. Mm-hmm. Courtship, I believe, is after you get that information and you see that this person has chemistry with you, mm-hmm. and you can communicate, mm-hmm. and then there comes courting. And that's to see if you're able to be one with each other. That's the most important part, is being one with each other. You may not have the same ideas going into a courtship or into a relationship, but through communication and dating information, see how they act in different areas of life, mm-hmm. then that'll take you to courtship. Okay. And that's what I want to say right now.
Okay. So, Johan, what's your take on that? What's your your definition of courting and dating.
Well, courting is if you're really interested in a person, you find, or you're looking, not finding, but you're looking for a person, because you have an idea of what you want as far as a mate in life, and you find that person that you're interested in. You meet that person, but your main objective and your main goal is to become one with that person. But first, you have to know yourself first. If you don't know yourself, if you don't know yourself, if you don't know who you are as a person, then you don't want to bring somebody else into your life or seek out somebody else to come into your life, or you come into somebody else's life if you don't first know yourself. Right. You have to learn yourself first and learn who you are, and go from there. And once you define out who you are, then you try to reach out to somebody else for companionship. And that companionship should be leading to you bonding, you and that person bonding to become one, to become not a mate, but what they call a helpmeet. So you're not a single person anymore. You become one. But there's limitations and there's guidelines that you have to follow, because the way the structure of today's society is, it leads you down dark alleys sometimes, and leads you away from what the original goal is. So, I mean, you can date somebody. Dating is just it's so laxical. It's so anything can basically go wrong with it, just dating someone. You date somebody and get to know them and whatnot, try to see where they're at, in their life, and you know where you're at in your life, and then you just dating, nothing serious. That's how I feel. But the courting is a more serious subject.
I agree.
So, do you think there's more courting going on or dating?
I believe there's more dating going on in today's society.
Yeah. Well, how long do you think that a man will court a woman before he knows that that's his wife?
Are you asking me or?
Yes.
Or just in general?
Yes, his wife to you and his husband to Diana, her husband. How soon do you think you would know before, or that's the right person to even spend time with?
Well, myself, I have been on the dating profile, and the longest that I talked with someone was 3 years. And I didn't realize it was 3 years until it was brought to my attention. And I found myself first on the profile just to see what the guys would do. And I didn't want sex before marriage because that's not the godly way to do it. Whenever they got to that point, and mostly on the profile, some of them are asking for money and this and that, and so I would rather have dating in person instead of on the profile, because they can say anything. But now I see that they don't answer, and the ones that do answer, they're not ready to make a full commitment. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I say at least 3 or 4 years. You should know.
You think it would really take that long? You think it'd take 3 years? You think it really would take?
Oh, not for me. That's too long. because I was ready after the third year.
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted, and he knew that I knew. But some things you can't help because he wasn't prepared for marriage, but he put that he wanted a long-term relationship. But we got a chance to know each other. We became buddies. But it couldn't go any further because he wasn't financially available. And you have to be financially, emotionally, physically, and materially available. Because when I looked at guys, then I wanted them to be like my dad. Because he took care of his family. We didn't go hungry one day.
And how many of
He
you
always
was it?
provided.
How many children did your father have?
My dad had 11 children.
And how long was he married to his wife?
Well, over 50 years.
Okay. All right, Johan. What's your point of view on the length of time that a man would know whether this is the woman for him or if he's just wasting time? I mean, just not really wasting time, but just dating, I guess. What would you?
Yes. Well, if you're looking for a mate, if you know that this is what you want, and for yourself, you're looking. Actually, you don't really have to look. I don't think you have to look. There's when you're on a path that you deem as a path of becoming one with yourself, you don't have to search out somebody. And it doesn't. For me, it doesn't take a long amount of time. Once you can meet a person right off the bat. You might say this person. I can tell this person not for me as soon as you meet them.
Right.
And, for me, it doesn't take a long, lengthy amount of time to know. I can meet somebody, and within 5 minutes, if that person is right for you or not right for you. And I don't, me myself, I don't believe in online dating. I believe in meeting a person physically in person. Because people can create a false narrative on the computer.
That's true.
They can tell you anything. And that is easier for them to lie on the computer, and you fall into that trap. And you end up wasting your time. So, but even more so, they can even lie about who they are. They may tell you their name is such and such, but their name may be something else. You can get a real, false narrative of who that person is online because you don't know who you're talking to. But a lot of times that can happen in person too. But you can meet somebody, you never know who they are. But if you know yourself first, if you know who you are and what you are seeking out, then you can actually learn a person real fast. And I don't believe in. If I'm looking for marriage, that's my ultimate goal. I'm not gonna date you for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years before we, I should say, go to the next level. When I meet a person, I already know what my goals are, what my aspirations are, so I know if that person is right for me automatically.
Yeah.
As soon as I meet them. If their characteristics aren't what I'm looking for, if their attitude, that you can meet somebody, they can be a good provider. They can be a physical God, a good providing God, but they can be a spiritual devil at the same time.
Amen and Ashe.
We see that every day.
Yes.
We got people that's millionaires. Oh yeah, they got plenty of money.
Yeah. Yes.
but their level of spirituality is a level of a snake.
Mm.
They can just because they can provide for you doesn't make them right for you.
That's right.
Amen.
And at this point, life has to be happy in that regard. I know that in relationship there will be conflict and disagreements that arise, but when it's based on love and you can bring each other back even to the marriage in from a religious standpoint, like you being a Muslim or us being raised Christian, our whole outlook of marriage was already, well, first of all, it's frowned upon, for you to be certain things that you really need to be to hold your marriage together. And you're supposed to be an expert at those things, but they're frowned on. But then you're forced, or not really forced, but encouraged to marry to cure this burning that they say that you have. But once you get married, um, that don't solve the problem. People need to know how to be in a marriage. First of all, you know what a wife should do or be and what a husband should be, you know. And the part about submitting don't mean that you're beneath him, but that he's the protector and the covering. And there's a way that we should present ourselves towards that mate. But Jahan, like myself, you got married pretty early. How old were you the first time you took that?
I was 25, I believe. 25.
Were you very
I was
active in?
25 years old.
I was 20. I was 20. Do you feel like your perspective on marriage has changed now that you're much older?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You study to change, and as you go through life, you don't when you start. That's in everything, not just marriage and everything. Hopefully, you change. You are changing for the better. Hopefully, you're learning. You learn from your, like I say, you learn from your mistakes, and you learn from other things too, not just your mistakes, but you learn from your successes too.
Right.
So yeah, but age really is not a factor as far as when you get married, because you have people that's got married at younger than that, and they've been still married. They've been married 50, 60 years, 70 years.
Yeah.
So it's really not an age thing. That you just learn as you go along, and hopefully in the learning process, you're advancing yourself. You're advancing your knowledge of who you are and knowledge of who that person is that I say you love, or you say you care about. Sometimes it doesn't work out. After time, you say, well, this ain't the person for me.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can fall. What they say, fall out of love.
Yeah.
They use that term. A lot of people use that term loosely.
Falling.
So some people say, well, I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Well, I
Then
go.
you say,
Well, I go
I'm
very.
sorry, go
I
ahead.
take my time on whatever I'm embarking upon. If someone is very persistent, I weigh those things out, because when you've been in a relationship, and there's times where I wasn't as comfortable, I felt like I had to get that other piece. I wanted that picket fence. I wanted what society says is that complete happiness and wholeness. But I found myself one day saying, hey, I need to work on me before I include somebody else in this, so that I can be whole and have a whole healed person to offer them. Do you feel like sometimes people are from relationship to relationship, sort of like that monkey bar effect, to keep from dealing with what is really going on with them?
I'll let her go ahead. Yeah.
I would say yes,
Mm-hmm.
because if you don't know who you are, then you can't offer anybody anything else. And what I was doing, I was chasing because I felt like I wasn't worth it. I wasn't enough. But then when I got in my quiet time and I was losing relatives by death, and I submitted those concerns to God, and then I used this friend of mine. He was talking and he listened to me, and so we became buddies. But we just didn't do anything about taking it to the next level because I found myself being impatient. And so I had to write a song about that. And the Bible says that tribulation worketh patience. So I said, where's the tribulation at, Lord?
But there's a scripture that also talks about pleasure. God wants us to be happy. And it talks about the pleasures being at the right hand. And you know what I'm saying? We're not supposed to be sad. That's the one thing that I can't really still wrap my mind around, the guilt and the shame that's wrapped around, and not saying that I believe, because I don't believe in just, spreading yourself thin, so to speak. But there is a spiritual connection that takes place when you do connect. And most times, nowadays, when guys are dating, that is the first thing that, is presenting.
The very first thing.
And that turned me smooth off. And so I pulled myself out of the arena of dating. And I'm not going to say how long, but I'm enjoying myself. You know what I'm saying? It's other things to do than worry about pleasing somebody else. First of all, I want to please God, but I want to stay in alignment so that my creative flow won't be interrupted. And I know that if God has someone for me, he won't disrupt my creative flow. He'll enhance it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I took time. I had to take the time to pull back, and get in touch with Delisa and find out who I was and use some of these practices and attunements and things I had took on to continue my personal healing. Okay, so somebody else can step in. That got kind of intense for a minute. But yeah, right. Marriage is a beautiful thing. And there's times when I was married, even when I was young, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the family aspect of it, and I was proud that all these kids were by my husband, and I was going to the, involved in the school activities and things like that. But after a while, if your foundation is not on something more solid than the looks of things, it's not gonna last. It'll crumble.
That's true. And there's nothing more beautiful than the love of self.
Yeah.
And the way you love, the way you love yourself, you have to have a knowledge of yourself, a knowledge of who you are. So you know what you have to offer somebody else that comes into your life. You already know what you want. What you want from this person before you even enter into any kind of relationship or dating or courtship or whatever.
These days it's a contract.
What you're looking for, you know what you're seeking, you know what you want, because you know as a person, you know who you are.
Right.
You have knowledge of yourself is the most powerful thing that you can have. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know yourself, you'll never know anybody else.
Could you give me an example of knowing yourself?
Knowing yourself is knowing who you are as a person, knowing your goals, knowing what you seek out in life. Knowledge of self is a dangerous weapon. Is a weapon that can be used for good, and a weapon that can be used for evil. When you know who you are and your goals and your aspirations in life, then anybody that comes into your life, they can't trick you anymore. They can't fool you anymore. They can't say one thing and then you fall for it and not knowing who this person or persons are. Knowledge of self, it eliminates all the riffraff. And to know yourself is actually to know God within self. God, the scriptures say that the kingdom of heaven is within.
Mm-hmm.
And if the kingdom of heaven is within, then what is God? If God is the head of that kingdom, that means that God is within you, God is within me, and God is within anybody who submits to the principles and laws of nature. So once you start to seek God outside of yourself, you lost half the battle. Wow.
Well, knowledge of self is very important. So,
Definitely.
so are you in the dating? Are you both dating, or are you in the dating phase?
Me, myself, I'm not in the dating phase. I'm just coming out of a relationship. So I've met, a couple of people since I've been, introduced back into the field of, how you say it, field of endeavor.
The field of opportunity.
Whatever you want to call it, but I'm not searching for nobody. If somebody comes into my life, then I will still have to. I know who I am as a person. Now that I've learned myself throughout the years. So I'm not searching for anybody. So I'm not, as you would say, in the dating stage or in the courtship stage right now. And I'm not searching for nobody. I don't have to look for anybody.
Oh, yes, you do.
God
You're
wants
the
to put somebody in
hunter.
life with.
You have to hunt.
Hmm?
Oh, yes, you do. You are the hunter.
But you have to realize that when you're a hunter, you don't have to necessarily go out there you have to be in the area. In the area of relationships is the whole earth, the whole world. So you don't have to. The most hunters they prepare for it. They already prepared for it.
They trap.
Yeah. No, I don't want to use that term.
They lay bait and they trap.
I know people that go hunting and they're already prepared for it. You're already equipped for whatever they're trying to hunt. Whether they're a fisherman, whether they're a hunter, a regular hunter looking for deer or whatever, they're already prepared for it. So that's the same thing in life. You're already prepared for it.
What's your thoughts on that, Diana?
The hunter and the huntee?
Mm-hmm. And the hunter being captured by the game. You think you're doing a hunt, then you turn around and you be the one sprung and lost and turned out.
That's one reason why I went on profile. Because I wasn't getting out. And I knew the right questions to ask, and I knew just how far to go. And when one man told me, he says, you have to love the human race. Because I asked him, I said, well, if I was sick or whatever, I said, would you take care of me? Like, we were watching something. So he said, well, I would love the human race. And I felt like if we are going to say I do, then you should cherish me like you cherish yourself. And so I did not have confidence in his answer. So I let him know that. And, he said, call him back. I haven't answered his call. But I take it to the limit.
Well, I wanted to say something about this, and this, I don't know, this is just about male, female, men and women relationships, and I noticed that I like to smile, and many times this smile has been taken for something else. You know what I'm saying? Or a good conversation has been taken for something else. Is
Mm-hmm.
there a curve that, Jahan, can you tell me from a man's point of view, some of the do's and don'ts, where you should cut it off? How can you define what you are enjoying this moment as, so that it won't be mistaken for more than it is?
Well, you just have to be upfront with the when you meet somebody. If you just happen to meet somebody, you have to be upfront. You have to be persistent. You know, because one, you may be seeking out one thing, and that other person might be seeking out something else. They might have different expectations.
Yes.
So you have to be upfront with what you're looking for in another person, in another mate, and you have to just basically just be upfront. And then you can see where they're going, what their mindset is, and then you can determine if you decide to just be friends, that's fine. If that's okay with the other person, you see that this person isn't what I was looking for. So you just let them know up front before you get dwell too far into this relationship. They may be seeking one thing, you may be seeking something else. So you just have to determine it up front. You have to let them know up front what your expectations are. Like you said, you got, like we said before, you have to love yourself first. And I have to go by what the scriptures say. You can't. The people will tell you that you got to love everybody. You can't love everybody. You can't. The scripture says that you can't serve two masters. You got to love one and what? Hate the other.
Come on, brother minister. Come on, brother minister.
You can't serve two masters.
I was waiting on you to come out the gate.
God said he loved Jacob, but he hated Esau.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all characteristics of all the emotions and whatnot. So in order for us, you can't. When people say that, well, you gotta love everybody, you can't love it. That's a human impossibility. You have to know who you are before you give yourself to somebody else. Because what you love, somebody else might not love.
That's right. What do you have to say on that? Goddess Diana, scholar, priestess, what you got to say to that one?
You have to love yourself, because you don't know love unless you love yourself and love God. Because God gives us the unconditional love. And that just got me thinking. So should you... I know on the profile they say chatting, friendship, and long-term relationship. Now, I'm looking for a long-term relationship. So, should that be the first thing I bring out? Or should we talk a little while? And then I ask, what are your intentions?
Yeah, I believe that you should let a person know right away. Not I mean, you have to let them know the first conversation. The first time you meet somebody. But that should be one of the first opening statements, not statements, but opening conversations that you have. With the person. From right off the bat. Let them know what you're looking for. That way, you're not wasting your time. You're not wasting their time, or vice versa. Yeah, you gotta let them know what you're looking for, what you're searching for. Otherwise you go down. You end up going down a long road, and it turns out they're not looking for that. But yeah, I believe that you gotta let the person know up front. If you're not looking for marriage, just let them know I'm not looking for marriage. I'm just looking for friendship. And that way they'll know, and you'll know, and then you two can go from there.
Well, I tell you,
Okay.
that marriage is a serious thing, and I don't know. I've been divorced since 2003, 2005, 20 years. And
20
but
years.
I've had friendships, relationships, very serious relationships, and support. However, there were
Mm-hmm.
things that I saw because as women, and I don't know how you feel about this, but in my teachings, women are divine portals from the other side. We see things, and I don't know. Sometimes I can just kind of see, and the things that I observed, I didn't want to take my lock my life down to that, if that makes sense. You know, so it wasn't that I was so bitterly against marriage because of my first experience, because we were just kids, but it was good. However, now now it's like when we speak about marriage, it's about we talk about time and all of that. Why do you why is time so important now? And
I
when
think
and
because
when did time become important? In your 40s, maybe 48 ish.
I don't know how to answer that really because
As far as
time
as
is
far as look, as far as marriage and relationship and locking it down and being with somebody solid, because uh, we do intend to be married for that first time we thought it would be.
right.
We wanted it to be,
Mm-hmm.
but those of us that have indulged in it more than once thought that it could work again. And so
Mm-hmm.
people that are in
And,
in church, or I don't know how they feel about it in Islam, but they carry this guilt of multiple marriages and things of that nature. That is not um, my drawback. But I've received so many commendations for not doing it again, and double marriage and all of that. But I don't carry that guilt like that. Not that I'm comfortable in sin, because I wasn't. But after a while, when you live in that lifestyle, there's a way you turn it off. You know what I'm saying? You might fill it in with something something that you're not supposed to be indulging in, but um, you find a way to block out the guilt from that. So I think that's why the marriage, people that do get married, like, you know, and want to remarry and things like that, I think that it's fine if maybe they got the wrong person, evidently. Do you feel that you're stuck in that one marriage by the Quran or by
yeah.
biblically or whatever in the Quran? Y'all can have much.
Well, it's a. I mean, as far as religious wise, I don't like to say religion. I like to say spiritually, because when you call yourself a certain thing, people say, well, you're this and you're that. You can't. You limit yourself to who you really are.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Muslim. I'm a Christian. I'm a Jehovah's Witness. I'm all that.
Oh yeah.
It's men who put labels on things.
That's it.
God don't put a label on things.
Yes.
So that's just like in a relationship when you, like you said, when you've been in them. So you look at other people who have been in and out. You say that like you say they've been married a couple of times or whatever. To be that kind of shies you away from that person.
No,
So
I wouldn't necessarily say that. Um, I think that the person that did that, they were trying to live uh, right in
a
God's
double life.
eyes, live right in God's
Okay.
eyes when they were marrying, and as opposed to myself, I don't know. I just felt like I could repent to God because I wasn't going to get tied up to this mess. You know what I'm saying? But it was okay for the
Yeah.
time. But like now, like I said, time, we see that time is of the essence. We're all older than 50. So
Right.
we can speak on many different subjects because we have the experience. But do you
Learning
think that
process.
do you think there should be a rush put on a courtship? Back circling back to courtship. Do you think it should be a rush put on courtship when you're older? And how old should you amp up the gas?
I'll let her, I mean, you want to answer that?
Well, I would say quality time. Spend quality time because we don't know when the last days are. If you find someone that you're interested in, they're interested in you, spend quality time. And I think, like, I had told this one person, I said, I would like to hear from you at least once a week because he was out of town. Or every day say good morning or say good night. But if you spend quality time asking quality questions and if you have to go to therapy together, go to therapy and just let it out because you can't get everything out even in 5 years because you're still a learning person. But if it's someone that you feel like I can love this person or I love them and I have all my seeds in the world in the duck charisma, communication, connection, and all this, then I say you don't have to wait that long. Because the only thing that will hold me back would be money.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm still thinking, no, what kind of wedding am I going to have? I'm going to have one just satisfy the people so that they can come and see? Or am I going to do it small? Just my friends.
Hey.
But quality time.
Well,
Yeah, that's true.
wherever you
Yeah,
decide,
those are good points.
wherever you or the listeners decide to have your wedding, if you're thinking destination wedding, I am a licensed and ordained minister, and I can travel to perform whatever kind of ceremony you desire. Okay, back to you, Johan.
Oh, I was going to all the points, those were very excellent points.
Yeah.
You know, and but what happens is a lot of us, you know, we decide that we want to get married, or we don't feel we run out of time. You know, some people say, I don't want to die alone. When you know the Creator, you're never alone. You know, we want somebody. You know, we want companionship. You know,
Right.
and we want, somebody in our lives, that's going to share these times with us.
Mm-hmm.
But when you know God, you're never alone.
Yeah.
He's always by your side. He's always with you, so you can't be alone. I'm never alone.
Amen. But these guys, they say.
I'll show you one. Yeah.
They say these guys.
A lot of us.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I've been hearing a lot of talk about these guys when they hit 50, they want to settle down and be righteous. They are looking for a hospice wife, they say.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard that?
No, I never heard called that.
Yeah.
But people, it's the same with men and women. They figure you run. You're getting short on time. Because why? Because I believe that we only seeking out because of the years.
Yeah.
We thinking, because our lifespan is only limited, for so many years on this earth.
Right.
But we don't. I'm not looking. I don't need a big wedding. You know,
Mm-mm.
many. That's the problem with many people. Many people they put more into the wedding than they put into the marriage.
Yeah. Because we got two girls here. I tell you, they going all out. 30,000
Yeah.
I said, my Lord.
$30,000 now, and a lot of times they be divorced within a year.
I'd rather.
You gotta put your focus into the marriage. You know,
Right.
I'd rather have some
anybody. You go downtown to get a marriage license. That ain't nothing. You know, I ain't. The only person you're supposed to be trying to impress is God.
Mm. That's right.
And I have a few decorative ones here. So if anybody want to tie the knot, if you're feeling convicted this Sunday and you want to,
It's in a froggy. They want to jump the pool.
I'm gonna ask some questions now.
yes,
And since I got to go ahead from you, sir.
Yeah, let them. I just feel that you gotta let somebody know
yeah,
what you're seeking, and some, before it gets too far along. Then next thing you know, you get too far along, and your feelings get hurt.
That's true.
That's the whole point. Yeah, you look for. I might be searching for one thing, and she might be searching for something else, and then you 2 and 3 years into talking to somebody and dating or courting or whatever, and then they're not really looking for that. So I try to let them. I myself, I just try to let people know what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for friendship. You just want, that's fine, But if I'm looking for marriage, then I let that person know. That way, we're not, caught up, and then, because emotions get involved. And then you don't want nobody. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want nobody else to get hurt. Hopefully,
you guys, we can get that single to do together.
Yeah. We
yeah.
can get Delisa to open up she can open up a singles line.
Delisa's line, what's on your mind?
Yeah.
You know what? I am.
I might want to pick.
I am developing a course. I'm developing a course to attune to Reiki level 1, where you can practice. You can treat yourself, and the 9 rites to the Moonlight Key, which are 9 bands of power. It's a spiritual ceremony that will be done remotely, but it will end with a certificate. And those are the 2 modalities, a portion of them that I am certified to pass on. So that's some of the things I have cooking. Now, if a mate should emerge that has any kind of skills that can help me with anything that I'm doing, I might be interested. But right now, taking a break from what I'm doing, I don't see that being the path at this time. And both of y'all are a little older than me. What do y'all think about that? Do you think that if your rightful mate should arrive, do you think it would fit like a puzzle, or you think you have to do some chiseling and fixing and working and work? Because I don't want to work on nobody. I'm working on me right now, so we could just live. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm only 25, so I don't have to worry about. No, you said we older than you. I don't know about that.
All right, you young whippersnapper.
They say you're only as old as you feel.
Yeah, well.
Right now, I feel 25. I might feel different tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, the reason what I believe you should do is write it down, write your goals down, and then when the time comes, the Holy One will tell you to pick it up and let's go. Because you are so creative. You got so many things going on. And when that man comes, he's going to be a piece of your puzzle. You ain't got to fit him in.
Yeah.
You're going to be a piece of his puzzle, and you're going to be a piece of it, and he's going to be a piece of yours.
That's
Fit right in.
That's shame.
Fit right
A lot of hunters out there.
Well, you got to get out to be seen. You got to get up to get down,
They might shoot.
But
They
right
might shoot
now,
you with
I
a
do have some
non-real.
projects on the floor, and I'm pretty excited about them. And I would welcome, embrace help, and it don't have to be a help me. It could be an assistant or a partner. Somebody that has the same spiritual goals in mind. Because there's so many things that we could do for ourselves that we've been taught or that we haven't been taught about. Period. You know, and so
Yeah, because we never really was taught about marriage.
no,
We were not talking about marriage. We were talking about young women's Christian counsel. But there was a young woman. They never just sit down and told us, what's expected as a wife and what we should look for in a husband.
they didn't teach that anywhere.
So,
But
we
now,
kind of learned it on our own.
yeah, but now they off the chain. They teaching it real perverse. And graphically telling you where you ain't supposed to be sticking your head and all that. I'm like with their church hats on. I mean, they are off the chain. The cussing pastor had passed away, and now it's other ones popping up. I'm like, I guess they feel like they have to be graphic to get their point across about how women should be chased, but they should take some things, keep some things private because everything is out in the open now. Everybody is dating and they're not courting, and most probably don't want to marry.
Yeah.
Most.
A lot of people, especially younger people, the younger generation, they don't have any. They never grew up in a structured household.
Yeah.
So, they don't
Really.
single family homes, and no structure in the household. So
Yes.
they get caught up in this satanic world.
That's right.
They try to teach that part of things that they shouldn't even know about. They want to teach in schools.
Yeah, the curriculum. They were teaching mindfulness and different things. I saw them implementing that, but if you look at what it entails, you will see that it's not evil. They're not taking demonology. They're teaching kids how to slow their breath down. How to calm themselves. The same thing that you would learn in martial arts or Tai Chi, Reiki. All those are, from the Oriental um, teachings. And so they're not evil like people think. The reason why they think they're evil because they don't know what these pictures mean, these symbols mean, what hamsa mean, or any of that. And ignorance breeds fear, period. And we've been taught to just look at what we've been taught. And if you look at a man that studies one thing knows nothing at all. And I'll just end on that. So, do anybody have anything else to say?
I just want to say that I enjoyed what's your name, sir?
Johan Shamsideen.
I enjoyed.
Who? Johan Shamsideen. Johan.
Johan Shamsideen.
Just call.
I enjoyed you.
It's
Shamsideen.
Shamsideen.
Oh, just call me Brother J.
Brother J.
Call
I
him
can do that.
Brother Minister.
Brother J.
Brother Minister.
Yeah, that's my ghetto name.
Brother J.
My good name.
Yes.
At least thank you for asking me again.
Oh, thank you for coming, and thank you, Jahan. I enjoyed you both, and I hope we can come back and discuss that next topic.
Yeah, whatever you have time.
So, Jahan, I want you to go ahead.
I learned a lot.
I want you to go ahead and go into the library, out there in your storage area, and dig that book out, because we're going to have both of you back to discuss some biblical facts from the Ethiopian Bible, maybe from the Holy Quran, different, books that you have studied to share some more knowledge in that regard.
Okay, thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. You have anything else you want to say, Johan?
No, I'll just be waiting on the return, and I'll see you next time.
Okay. Do you want to
God
Do you want to plug your business or not? You don't want that much business.
No,
Okay.
no.
All right. Until next time.